Hello everyone, my name is Kasturi Navalkar. I'm 25 years old and I'm from Bangalore. I'm currently an associate with an environmental consultancy firm. This video is actually dedicated to Dr. Prem Jain in an event called Reflections that was held by the IGBC committee. I happened to be there and hear from so many people about the impact that he had had on their lives, and I couldn't help but reflect on the memories that he left with me. I remember it was when I was about 12 years old that IGBC actually held their edition of the exhibition in Bangalore, in Lalit Ashok. And my parents, of course, had a stall at the exhibition, and they were looking forward to Dr. Prem Jain visiting the stall. And I think they had to go for lunch, and they thought that, during lunchtime he wouldn't visit anyway. So they left me in charge of the stall. At 12, I was excited, enthusiastic, and extremely talkative. And so when Dr. Prem Jain actually approached the stall, strangely, when my parents weren't there, as if it was a sign from fate that I had to meet him that way, I explained to him in full gusto and unawareness of who he was, that what the stall was about, what IGBC was about, how my parents are involved, why it's so important to have something like this. And he listened. He was patient and he listened to the entire little speech of mine before he actually took me and he said, I want to meet your parents. And when we actually went to meet my parents and we reached them, he told them, and I remember this extremely clearly, that this girl is the future of the green era in the country. She is the voice of the next generation, and do not let her spirit drop. I think to hear those words at the age of 12 from such an inspiring figure, I think the depth of it is realized only now. Looking back, when I was at that age, and I was so inspired, of course, primarily by my parents, who are an extremely environmentally conscious pair. But to have the mentorship of such an amazing and crucial part of the environmental scene in the country and even internationally is almost surreal. He was a mentor to many children, to the youth across the country, but the kind of closeness that I experienced when I would speak to him, which I'm sure a lot of other children would also be able to narrate, was something personable. I remember another instance when he actually told me, and this was quite lightheartedly over a meal, that if your parents, this was a few years later, and he said, if your parents don't encourage you enough and you feel like you need some more inspiration and you need someone to guide you through it, I'm a phone call or a letter away. And he said this with a twinkle in his eye, but I knew that if I ever had to reach out, he would be there through it all, like he has been for everybody who's reached out to him and has been inspired by him. When I had to make the decision of an undergraduate degree, I chose Bachelor of Environmental Science, and now I realize that there was this little subconscious voice of Dr. Prem in my head asking me, what can you do to contribute more to the green revolution in the country? How can you be an ambassador for it? Which he asked me at a very young age. And I think that was the little push that I needed to actually choose this subject. I can say that he was a tremendous contribution and inspiration for me to choose a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science. And now here I am, I'm working in the environmental sector once again. There is something very humbling to be in the presence of such a magnanimous figure, such an inspiring figure, but still feel like you are speaking to a friend, you're speaking to a mentor, you're speaking to someone who is on your level. And that was the energy and the spirit of Dr. Prem Jain. I remember him extremely fondly, and I am tremendously grateful to him for being the driving force alongside my parents, pushing me into the environmental sector and finding a cause that is larger than myself, which I'm extremely passionate about. I sincerely hope that in the years to come, I can do him proud and answer those questions with integrity and with complete dedication and paying homage to the kind of work that he's done for this country. I would take this opportunity to actually say thank you to you, Dr. Prem Jain, for being not only a source of inspiration, like I've said before, but also someone whom I can relate to, someone who was there guiding me through the process, and someone who has been a role model for the youth of the country. I just hope I can make you proud and keep up to your legacy. Thank you so much.